on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Last video we put a clutch in my big white truck. Got that thing back on the road after sitting for almost a year. Actually, I want to say closer to 8 months, but anyways, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It goes over some of the tools and has links to some of the things you might need to do that. But anyways, this video we're actually still working on transmissions, but this one is already out of the truck. I took that out of a 2007 F-150. I want to say probably almost 2 weeks, or not 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, maybe closer to the 6-7 week mark. But I pulled it out. The problem with this transmission is it would not go into drive when it was brought over here. At least that's what I was told. It wouldn't go into drive unless you hit the throttle, and the RPMs had to be somewhere in the high 3s, low 4s. I think he said around 4,000 RPMs. Kind of like neutral dropping. Not good. He also did say that this transmission was rebuilt, I want to say within the last couple years. I'm not sure how many miles are on it since it was rebuilt, but either way, it is broken. And I know I've said quite a few times I'd like to get into rebuilding an automatic transmission. I've never done it. I'd like to learn. So this video we're going to be learning together. And this transmission, I believe, is a 4R70E. And it's the 70E because it has the 2 sensors on it. The W has the 1 sensor in the back here. And as you can see, this is out of a 4-wheel drive truck because it has a really short tail shaft housing. This video I will be referencing, I do have a repair manual on the bench, so I will be referencing that. And I'm also going to be referencing actually another YouTube channel as well. It's called, the name of the channel is Transmission Workbench. The guy goes through, he splits this transmission up into like 3 lessons, but multiple parts per lesson. He breaks it down piece by piece, goes over the tools you're going to need, even shows you how to make some of the tools you will need to break down some of the clutch packs and stuff like that. So really cool. And then the fact that he breaks it down so much is even better. Rewind, back, fast forward. You don't have to watch a full 1.5 hour long video. So I will be referencing that as well. But anyways, so what I'm going to do is we'll get set up on the stand there. I'm going to do my best to tear this thing down and figure out what it is we could, well, basically what broke. Try to figure out what broke and what we need to repair it. So let's dive in. All right, I'm all set up on the bench. Got pretty much everything I'm gonna need. So, like I said, I will be referencing the book and the other guy. So there is going to be some starts and stops in this video, but I'm going to do my best to keep it going for as long as possible. So far, the only tools I'm going to be needing so far are like a 10mm wrench, 10mm socket, 8mm socket. And you can use a ratchet or a little electric impact. I'm going to be using both. I got a flathead screwdriver, a little pick, and some snap ring pliers. I'm not going to need those just yet, but so yeah, like I said, I will be referencing. There will be starts and stops. We're going to learn this transmission together and hopefully figure it out. But let's start tearing this thing apart. All right, valve body is off. Managed to get a lot more or most of the burnt transmission fluid out of there. So you can see how dark it is. Here is our valve body, and then here is that gasket, which is still in actually pretty good shape, still nice and pliable. So I mean, I guess if in a pinch it could be reused. Now, next thing we have to do is I've got a 21 millimeter wrench, so we can pull this nut off. And I got little locking pliers or vice grips. We got to pull this little roll pin out there. That way, once the nut's off, we get this guy off, and then that'll allow the roll pins out. We can pull the shaft out of the case, and then all this stuff will just pop out of here. We'll be able to get the parking brake out, and that's just that's held up with a spring. And all you got to do is remove. See here. See, this pin moves, so remove this pin, all that stuff will come out. Another thing I can suggest doing is take lots of pictures, especially if you're going to try to do this just by going off a video and you're not going to use a repair manual or don't have a repair manual and you're going to rely on the video alone, which is fine. That's something I do too. But take lots of pictures. Give yourself plenty of reference points, because even though, I mean, I've gone through the book and it has diagrams and stuff, but it doesn't quite have pictures the way I would take them that help jog my memory, and I know everybody's different, so take lots of pictures. It'll definitely help you out. So yeah, let's get set back up. We'll get the nut off so we can get the shifter pawl out of here and finish getting our parking brake linkage out. All right, so that's basically all the parts you can take out by hand. Now, what we do have left in the transmission case here is we have the 2-3 accumulator. We've got reverse, overdrive, and 1-2 accumulator. Now, those are going to be removed using a tool that was made, actually. I will put a picture of this in the video so you have some kind of measurements to go off of. So basically, this is 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 piece of square tubing. I drilled a hole directly in the center at 3.5 inches, welded a 5/16 18 nut on it, used a piece of all thread there with another bar welded to the top as a handle. Now, basically what that is going to do is allow you to center our all thread up on each one of our servos and accumulators to press it down. That way you can use both hands to remove all the snap rings. And basically what I did for each one is I just found center and then measured the distance between center to hole, center to hole. On this accumulator, you can use the 2 longest transfer case housing bolts in here to hold this down. Thread them in about 1/4 inch, and then you can thread the handle in to depress. And basically the same thing. These the measurement for this one is from there to there, so center to there, center to there, and then you use the longest valve body bolts. Use the longest valve body bolts. Same with this. Actually, you won't need the little tool for the 2-3 accumulator there. You can actually just pry that out using a couple little screwdrivers. It should just pop up. But you will, however, still need it for overdrive, reverse, and the 1-2 accumulator. So go ahead and get set back up. Get all these guys out, get them set on the bench, and then we'll start working towards getting the front pump off and all the internals. We got all our pistons and our springs out. We got them actually stacked up in the same way they came out of the case. That way we know which way they go back in when it comes time to put everything back together. As you can see there, I got them stacked up right over here. So now what I'm going to do is I got the transmission turned around so you guys can see where the front pump is at. I got to pull, there's 7 10mm bolts in here that need to come out. And behind 2 of these are, the pump is threaded, which will allow me to thread in some, these are M10 by 1.5 thread pitch. There's, like I said, 2 holes in the front pump here that will allow me to thread these in. Once they're threaded in, I will go ahead and grab a hold of it with my slide hammer and kind of pull it out. Now I got this guy here from a parts store, Harbor Freight, I believe, long time ago. But I took a cutoff wheel and opened that up far enough so it'll grab the head of the bolt. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Let's go ahead and get all these bolts out and then we'll pull the front pump. All right, we got the front pump out as you guys saw, and it actually came out really, really easy. I did not have to hit it hard. We've got it sitting over here on the bench with all the rest of its other parts here. And we got Seth over there. He's trying to learn something too. But, so we got all our parts sitting up here on the bench. And we got our book here so we can reference all the neat technical terms for all these parts. So far I have found one issue. As you can see here, we've got some bluing. Now I don't know if you can see it, but it is really, really scarred up. And this is the overdrive bend that is really wore out as well. And it's dug itself right in. Well, let's see here. Get this off real quick so I can show you there. It has run itself right into those rivets. And you can see some pieces missing there in the corner as well. So that thing is trash. Gonna be needing a couple new parts. Definitely would probably contribute to this transmission having an issue. Here's what we got left. I've got to go ahead and remove this inner snap ring right here. See, I got my finger on there so you can see. So that can come out by hand. Then we'll go ahead and remove everything else from inside the case and get it stacked up on the table so we can, look at this guy, running away. So we'll finish getting everything out of the case, get it stacked up on the table so I can actually go through, take a look at it, and see if I can find any more issues. So let's get to it. All right, our transmission is torn completely apart now, and all of our assemblies are sitting here on the bench waiting for me to take apart further and do a little bit more, a little bit more of a thorough inspection on them. But that is not really something I can show you guys because, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, this is all a learning experience for me as well, and kind of a learning experience / teardown video, plus kind of help get rid of the intimidation factor He said, I have never gotten this far in a transmission before, and before this, I was very intimidated. A little bit scared to take one of these things apart, but now that I've come this far in it, I can really tell you guys that it is definitely a lot less intimidating than you would think. Especially if you got a book with you, you can go through, you can kind of look at some of the diagrams it has, and it shows you the assembly process, and things start clicking in your head. So that's really, really cool. During the teardown, I didn't find, like, all the needle bearings felt good. Most of the clutches looked good. Didn't see any bluing, all except for this drum right here, which you can see is completely trashed, as well as our overdrive band. Now, this problem, they say, is caused by a bad overdrive piston. Now, what I've done is I pulled the little E-clip off so I can pull the pin out, because the ID of this pin is the same as our reverse. And they say you can check. You go in the reverse here, slide it down, and if you shake it, it's really, really tight. But if you take it back over here to where your overdrive is, you can hear how loose it fits in there. And because of that, it doesn't have the required pressure it needs to go into gear correctly or stay in gear correctly. If it does go into gear, especially after neutral dropping like I was told he had to do, or revving it up, it would just sit there and slip and burn up the clutches and bend like it did right there. So they do make a part to repair that issue, and it's the same pin. You just, like I did already, you pull that pin off, you put another pin in, and it comes cut for O-rings, which will allow the transmission to build up the proper pressure it needs to go in and stay in gear. So that was really cool to be able to find that issue. But anyways, like I said, there's still a lot more disassembly I need to go. I do have to go in and check out all the clutches. That's not something I'll go over with you guys, because like I said, I am just learning this. I just want to do this video for, like I said, like a teardown, and hopefully get rid of any intimidation that I or you or someone out there may have doing something like this. So, you know, and like I said, it's a lot less intimidating now. I understand a lot more what's going on in this transmission. Newer ones, still over my head, but got to start somewhere. So, anyways, like I said, I got a little bit more teardown to do. I got some parts to order, so I do definitely plan on doing a reassembly of this. We'll see how that goes, but at the very least, a test. You know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So, but anyways, I'm gonna end this video right here. Hope this helps take care of any questions or help lessen the intimidation of you wanting to do your own automatic transmission. It'll definitely help you save a lot of money in the long run if you got the time and patience to want to do this. So, anyways, again, thank you guys for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed. If you're new and you have made it this far through the video, please hit that subscribe button for me. Share it with your friends. If you have any comments or suggestions, leave them down below. Again, thank you guys for hanging out, and I'll catch you on the next one.